books. Can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it. Call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Tuesday, January 27th. We've got NBA, NHL, college basketball, including some early starts in the MEAC and SWAC today. Some of those postponed games from the last couple of days to make sure we have some early action today to bet on. And also tonight, do have a little bit of football action going on if you so choose. We got some all-star games anyway. I don't think it's worth previewing, but we do have a game if you want to watch tonight. The game, the East-West Shrine game tonight from Frisco, Texas, and the little football action if you want to watch. Hey, you know what they should do with the Pro Bowl? I would start, you know what, maybe I don't want flag football. Maybe they could do like a game where they could honor players who are retiring. Are there not maybe some players who could stand to play one more game with a little bit of motivation here? I know it's hard to get the big stars to play. We don't want to get them hurt or anything in some game that doesn't count, but maybe there are guys on the way out that want one more time, one more chance at some gridiron glory. I don't know, but just a thought. I don't want to watch flag football this weekend with the NFL. Thank you for joining me here on the show. It's neither here nor there. Had a good day yesterday here with some of the sports action. Hope you had a good day there. I know the referees, they were trying to get home my BYU pick there. Great job by Arizona in the big game last night. Arizona got the win there over BYU. The refs did everything they could. Good try, referees, trying to help me along. You guys are on Arizona there in that big game. They got it done with the victory there late last night, 86-83. Arizona practically blew a double-digit lead, but were able to hold off BYU and the officials there. I was on BYU, so I'm not giving them the business. I'm wondering what happened. How'd we end up not getting there? Anyway, we'll preview the games here, and you can get more picks from me tonight over at winnable.com. I did send out an overnight package here. I figured with a little bit of a slumpy slump that I'd get the plays out overnight and kind of trust the overnight money here a little bit and see what we can do, try to get back on a winning streak in college basketball tonight. Preview those, some big games. Also take a look at one game from those day games here. They're not all great, of course, but we just want to let everybody know that there is some early action to bet on. You can get more picks from me. Get those picks from me right now over at winnable.com/Ramon. When you subscribe, use the promo code STEAM to save 20%. I sent a 5-pack out. That might be it for the college basketball as far as the package tomorrow. But like I said, I'm going to play an overnight here tonight after a little bit of a cold spell in college basketball. So pick up those plays over at winnable.com. And if you make a comment in the chat. You'll get a free subscription at the end if your name is drawn from our contest here at the end of the show. Just all you have to do is type in anything into the chat. My name, hello, Ramon, anything like that. You can get some of get those plays anyway. A little bit of news coming out right now. Darian Mensah and Duke have agreed to a settlement, so Mensah will actually be able to transfer out. Remember, he was one player that they were having some legal issues there with, but it's just breaking here right now that Darian Mensah and Duke agreed to a little bit of a settlement there. And there's a issue here. I mean, this is problems we're going to have with some of these guys anyway when it comes to these NIL deals, but Duke said, they're expect the athletes to commit, to fulfill the commitment when they take the money and try to join a team. So just a little bit of legal mumbo jumbo, I guess. So maybe they got that settled anyway. That just breaking here within the top of the hour. Say hello to some folks in the chat as well here right now, joining me on the show today, including Twisted here. He does have the early games. There they are. He's got some early action here with those write-in games today. Twisted as well as here. Robert is here. Nuke is here. Good morning to everyone. And only 35 Steve Electarians here. Only 35 games today. We can manage that. I think I've picked 6 or 7 games today. And we're just a one blockbuster. We know that. And then some other games. Chosen One here today as well. And Terrell says this is a rinse and repeat Monday here on Tuesday. I think that's what he's saying. All right, good to have everyone here. We'll let a few more roll in. We got a couple dozen already in here as we get ready to start the show, open the markets, and we did have some winners here on the Morning Steam show yesterday in the NBA with those early starts anyway. We had the Atlanta Hawks yesterday over Indiana. We got it done with that early game. Atlanta ended up crushing them. Wasn't easy. They were down there for most of the game, took over in the fourth, and ended up rolling over the Pacers yesterday. Also, we had the Cleveland Cavaliers winner over Orlando, 114-98 for a winner on the show. Sixers and Hornets game to go under. It stayed under in the 130-93 win for Charlotte. Abs crushing the Sixers there. Abs yesterday. Sixers not ready for that time change, I guess, in that game. Also, did have some winners here with the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves game to go under in a slam dunk under Minnesota 108-83 over the Warriors. Also, some winners here on the Morning Steam in the NHL yesterday with Utah and Tampa Bay game to go under in that 2-0 win for Tampa Bay. We did have that one postponement. Kings got postponed in their game against the Blue Jackets, and then they'll hopefully get that game off today. They're going to move over to take on the Detroit Red Wings today, the Kings, but they'll have to make that one up. I think they said it's going to be in March. We also had the Islanders and the Flyers game to go under in that 4-0 Islanders win yesterday. And we did have a premium pick winner in the NHL there yesterday with Anaheim and Edmonton to go over. Yeah, I think it went over yesterday for a premium winner in that one. All right. And also some college basketball action. Some winners on the show yesterday included Louisville and Duke game to go under. We had that one yesterday with the 83-52 win, 31-point win for Duke. Louisville hasn't really seen a loss like that in quite a while. We also had the over in the game there last night between Arizona and BYU. That was actually a winner in that wild game that we talked about, 86-83 there for the U of A getting the win, but we had the over in that one. Also, some other results there yesterday. included some of the big action here. What was the other one game? What was the other one game, you guys? Oh, Penn State and Ohio State. That wasn't much of a game, but then Ohio State did win 84-78. Penn State actually covered the spread in that one. So, also late night action on the tennis scene. What a match there late night with Carlos Alcaraz beating Alex de Minaur in straight sets. I think I got swept with my card last night in tennis. Man, unbelievable here after having such a pretty good tournament here. But Alcaraz just wore down de Minaur quickly there, actually, after a first set was 7-5, but then he ended up winning 6-2, 6-1 to absolutely roll. Coco Gauff lost last night in embarrassing fashion. Still waiting to see if there was some type of injury there. She lost 6-1, 6-2 to Svitolina. Yeah, Svitolina playing pretty well, but Gauff was a considerable favorite, nearly a 2-1 favorite, or 1-2 favorite, I should say, in that match. Also, American Learner Tien loses to Sasha Zverev, and Sabalenka dumped the youngster Eva Jovic in tennis. Some good matches tonight, including Rybakina and Swiatek. Rybakina playing so well, favored over Iga tonight. Jessie Pegula and Amanda Anisimova in another matchup, All-American matchup there. Djokovic, so nearly a $3 favorite against Musetti, and then late night match or early morning match in the East. Shelton and Sinner. Sinner a huge favorite, but give Shelton maybe a chance to get a set off him here tonight. All right, let's see who else rolled in here. I guess we can get ready to start the show. And let's see, Damon Waring is here today. Jordy is here as well. And Terrell did go to that game last night. Not only did he see LeBron last night up close and personal, but also the Lakers rolled Chicago last night. Another impressive win there for the Lakers. When you want to count this team out, that's when they come through, or at least that's what it is for me. I went with the Bulls last night. And hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports channel on YouTube. And hello to AOD in the chat here today. And that's going to do it for the folks in the chat. We're going to get ready to go with our show. Why not? We got a big card here, 7 games in the NBA. We got 10 in the NHL tonight. I think I'm looking at 7 games in college basketball. Not the biggest or best, maybe, but just a handful of games. And, of course, we're going to look at undefeated Miami of Ohio again after we saw some of the other undefeateds continue to win. How about Miami O today in their game? All right. Just get started here with our coverage. We're going to go to the NBA first and take a look at our matchups. Let's go to the banners and the show here. First off, Portland Trailblazers on the road taking on the Washington Wizards. NBA action here for Tuesday, with the Wizards coming in on a losing streak here right now for Portland. They're also losers of 2 straight. Portland with back-to-back losses here to Toronto and Boston. They did cover last time out against the Celtics in a 102-94 loss, but they were getting 8.5. So they were able to just get the money there in that one. Before that, they were on a little bit of a roll. The Blazers had been one of the hotter teams in the league, but they had to hit the road a little bit here. Still got the money at Boston. Now they're our favorite here in this roll, so this one feels a little bit tougher here. Washington, they have lost 9 straight games right now, and also just 3-6 for Washington in their last 9 games. Overall, for Portland, they've won 9 of their last 13 and covered 5 of their last 6 games coming in. And Portland has gone 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 games against Washington. But asking this team to maybe cover a spread on the road, no matter how bad Washington is, it does feel a little bit, I don't want to say difficult, but man, Portland here laying 7.5 right now. They've been favored in a couple games here this past couple of weeks over Miami and the Lakers, but those were at home, laying just 3.5. I don't know if we want to treat Portland quite this well here, as good as they've been to us. I mean, Portland's been a pretty good cover here, but this isn't their best role when they're favored. But for Washington, they're just 18-26 against the spread overall. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Washington's gone under in 12 of their last 18. Portland's gone under in 15 of their last 20. But you can see the total there does indicate it's going to be, at least a relatively high-scoring game. Maybe it'll stay under, but I don't know if it will. Portland is 13-4 to the over as a favorite. Now, I don't think there's any other really standout trends, especially when both teams are kind of going under. But Portland as a favorite. We, said it's not exactly the best role for them, but they're clearly a favorite here, and that's usually when they have their higher scoring games. So let's see what you've got in the chat here in this one. Portland and Washington here tonight. I'll go to the chat, but tell you what, I'm gonna have to be on this underdog, as ugly as it is. D Money in the chat. Hello to Damian Betts. All right, let's. You guys can go ahead and comment if you want on this one between the Trailblazers and the Wizards. Chat All Stars. Get your picks shown on the screen and have them there for all eternity, or at least for the next 24 hours. I want to hear from you in the chat. All right, well, maybe it's just too ugly a game. I'm going to take Washington here. I'm taking Washington for sure against Portland in this game, plus some points. 9-game losing streak does look pretty bad, but I'm not sure that Portland is all that is as good as they've been to us, as decent of a run they've been on here of late. I'm not going to be able to trust them here at -7.5 against Washington. There are injuries on both sides, maybe more so coming in on Washington. Middleton's questionable. Kulabai here questionable as well. Vucevic out. Marvin Bagley out as well. A.J. Johnson probable here right now for Portland. I do have some notable injuries here with Avdija. That's another factor. I mean, Avdija is questionable here. Maybe he could make this lineup, but he's been sidelined here right now. Stocks are tumbling here early on because of the, I believe the health stocks, something with the insurance and the government here. Okay. Reith is questionable as well. So I'm going to have to take Washington in this one, plus the points. All right. Robert's on Washington as well. He's on the under. There's Twisted, his only NBA plays today. There they are. Let's take a look. Detroit and the Clippers. Terrell says bad teams win games, play close games here and there, and take maybe Washington here. I've got to take Washington here. Despite this 9-game losing streak, I got to grab these points here in this one. All right, we'll keep you posted if there's any steam. Hello, I wonder if this thing's even on right now. Okay, here we go with the next one up. All right, the Sacramento Kings are going to take on the New York Knicks. NBA action for Tuesday night with the Kings coming in. They're on a losing streak here and they're on the road, taking on the Knickerbockers tonight. The Kings have lost 5 straight games coming in, just going 1-4 against the spread in those 5 games. The only one they covered was a game 2 games back at Cleveland. They were able to cover with 13 points in a 123-118 loss at Cleveland here, but Sacramento, again, just dismal ATS, straight up and ATS. We know one of the worst spread teams. Bad enough to be a loser here with just a 12-35 record right now, and 3-19 on the road. But they're 8-14 against the spread on the road, 16-27 as an underdog ATS. At least the Knicks. This is where they've at least had some success, despite some struggles for them right now as well. But they've won 2 straight and covered against Brooklyn and Philadelphia, and they're still, no matter how you look at it, 16-8 against the spread at home, despite a bit of a bad run here of just 5-15 overall against the spread. We know the road's been more of a disaster. New York has also dropped 9 of their last 13 games overall after things were going so swimmingly. They're still 27-18 right now coming in. The Knicks have actually covered 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. The Kings have gone over in 5 of their last 6 games. The Knicks have gone under, however, in 5 of their last 6. And this series has gone under in 13 of the last 20 matchups, dating back a decade between these two. But let's see what you've got here in this one with Portland and Washington here on Tuesday night. I'll go to the chat all-stars here and see what's going on. Kings here been going under here of late, but the Kings have been going over here of late, but the Knicks have kind of been trending under just a little bit here. All right, Chris Warren is here. He took the Wizards in that other game on the money line there tonight. I think that's a nice call there, possibly by Chris. Maybe break that losing streak. 1K protection firm is here as well. Robert's on the Kings here in this one. He's also likes the over. D-Money liking the over as well. Twisted's got a Burr. Is that a Burr money parlay? Like a it's a beer money. I see. I thought it was because of the cold. He's got Wake Forest, Purdue, and Detroit and Dallas on the money line. All right, Jermaine in here. What's he got? Knicks team total over. The Kings have been giving up those points. He says right there. All right. I'm going to take the Knicks to roll in this one, actually. Give me the Knicks tonight to club the Kings. I'll go ahead and lay 13.5 in this one. Give me the Knicks to crush here tonight against the Kings. Jordy's got the over here. Again, the Knicks still pretty solid at home, no matter how you look at it. I mean, that's a pretty impressive spread record of 16-8. I know it hasn't been great, and a couple injuries maybe of note. Let me see, Terrell here, Knicks team total over in the first quarter, but Knicks come in here really a clean injury report. Meanwhile, for the Kings, Zach LaVine questionable, Malik Monk questionable as well. So give me the Knicks tonight. 9 Legacy is going to be on the Knicks as well. Chris says Towns over 2.5 assists tonight. All right, New Orleans Pelicans on the road taking on the Thunder. NBA action here for Tuesday night. 2 teams going in opposite directions. It's the Pelicans that are hot. They've won 2 in a row. The Thunder, they've lost 2 in a row. All right? Don't say that the Thunder are going to win every game. They're actually, we're making fun of it because this has been kind of the roughest spell we've seen from the Thunder all season. Doesn't really matter. They're still winning the games for the most part. But, you know, they're nothing special against the spread this season. We know that. Always laying these big points here, and well, they're going to have to do it again here against the Pelicans. Their 2 wins were on the road at Memphis, at San Antonio here. They've almost shocked these last 2 games as underdogs. They were 11.5-point dogs against the Spurs, got the win there the other night, and also were 4.5-point dogs against Memphis and they got that win as well. So for the Thunder here, back-to-back losses at home to Indiana and Toronto. Is this trend going to continue? Even if it's just 3 games here right now. Good for New Orleans to get some action here. Actually, they're getting the double digits. Maybe they'll just keep it going here on the road right now. Can you stand to take them here in this matchup with the Thunder? Take a look at some of the trends with these two. You got New Orleans coming in here, just 4-14 straight up in their last 18, but the 2 wins, obviously. New Orleans just 6-12 ATS in their last 18 overall. Thunder still won 7 of their last 10, but they're just 4-8 against the spread in their last 12 games overall. And not only that, you do have the Thunder have covered 8 of the last 9 meetings with these two teams. 8-1 ATS for Oklahoma City in the last 9 meetings between the two clubs. They did meet back in November twice. Thunder won and covered the first one. 137-106 is a 13.5-point favorite, but then at New Orleans, they were favored by 18.5. That was a little large. Oklahoma City did get the win, but only won by 17, and the Thunder actually got the money. Can they play well enough to get the money again tonight here on their little winning streak? And the Thunder's lost 2 in a row. New Orleans got under in 9 of their last 13 games coming in. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City's gone over in 4 of their last 5, and 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Let's hear from you in the chat in this one with Oklahoma City tonight taking on the Pelicans here, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. All right, here we go. 9 legacies on the Thunder here. Zion had his shoes taken away, apparently. That'll happen, I guess, if you've just been pretty much a big flop in the league. But poor Zion. All right. Chris said 15's a lot. We've been dealing with this kind of all season, right? Robert here is on the under in this one. Public Enemy. Good morning. Going to take the Thunder there in that one. Does feel like a game like the Thunder can show up and, maybe take out some frustrations a little bit. Figure they're on this rare losing streak. In fact, they did beat Cleveland and Milwaukee, but they also lost to Miami. So they've dropped 3 of their last 5 here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Thunder tonight to crush New Orleans here, kind of get back on track to what we're used to. They only have to win, so they'll be dicey enough, I guess, just to try to cover. But I'm going to take the Thunder here and lay the 14.5 in this one. Total might be dropping here a little bit to 234. I would think that might be the way to look here. Let's see if New Orleans really can get much going. Both meetings, though, between the two teams did go over when they met in those games back in November. And Terrell says, Zion's been a little busy on the sidelines there. All right. What are we going to see with the trade deadline? Did get that news last night. We'll talk about it here in a short time with the Bucks and the Sixers next up. Here we go. All right, some definite news that came out of the Bucks here yesterday. They come in here as a 10.5-point dog against the Sixers today, but Mark Spears, a noted NBA insider, pretty trustworthy guy with his leads here, says he believes that Giannis has played his last game with the Bucks. This calf injury is going to sideline him once again for probably several weeks. There's really no timetable issued, I don't believe, for Giannis right now, but he's definitely out with this calf injury. That this is the same injury that continued to bother him here. And with the trade deadline approaching and will Giannis be moving on, Spears says that's it for Giannis in Milwaukee. and that he will move on, but will it be sooner rather than later? Usually don't get a guy who is injured traded, even though his career is not over or anything. But it is reported that that's probably going to be it for Giannis. I mean, we've seen him injured before and felt the same thing, but it's kind of rumblings right now from some noted national NBA beat writer here, Mark Spears, saying that's going to be it for Giannis. So Kevin Porter is out of this game. You got the Sixers here, a double-digit favorite at 10.5. They've lost 2 in a row. Milwaukee's lost 2 in a row coming in. Philadelphia with losses to the Knicks and to Charlotte. For Milwaukee here, they lost to Oklahoma City and Denver. Maybe nothing wrong with that, but they've also lost some other games here of late as well. For Milwaukee in this one, they come in having lost 5 of their last 6 and failed to cover in 5 of 6 as well. Same thing for Philly, just 2 and 5 straight up and against the spread in their last 7 games coming in. Milwaukee has covered 6 of the last 12 games. 6 of the last 8 games between the two teams. Milwaukee's gone under in 5 of their last 7. Philly's gone under in 4 of their last 6. However, 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone over. I don't know if it's going that way because Milwaukee's been such a solid under. 7 and 16 to the under on the road, and 17 and 27 to the under overall. So I guess mostly on the road they go under. Philadelphia here comes in just they are 15 and 10 against the spread as a favorite this season, and it's a lot of points. But let's see what you got here in this one with Milwaukee and Philly tonight. 10.5 and 219 it looks like right now. Okay, here we go. Jordy there. That was on the last game, Oklahoma City Moneyline and SGA to get 25 points. Chris talking about the Sixer game there yesterday. Yep, so they're on the back-to-back because they got blown out in that game against the Hornets. It makes you wonder whether they can have the motivation to cover against this Bucks team. Public Enemy likes the over in this one. And BJ Anderson's here today, and he's got the Bucks on the money line. Jordy says, could Giannis end up a Laker? Can remember do we have the big threesomes anymore? Could I say that? All right. And Terrell maybe going to some Bucks games after Giannis gets traded. All right. Guess that's going to do it maybe in this one. A little bit tough, a little bit tricky here with Philadelphia right now. But, man, I'm going to take the points in this one. I don't know. I'm just not sure Philly can get a blowout win in this situation against the Bucks. I don't know if the Bucks is one of those teams where we talk about the addition by subtraction. They're obviously going to have to get by with it. They've been getting beat without Giannis here in the last couple of games, but I'm going to take 10.5 with the Bucks here tonight. I don't know if Philly has that blowout motivation, I guess. Steve does think, though, that Philly can take care of business here. Terrell says a matchup of unmotivated teams. The two teams did meet back in December. Philly won it at Milwaukee, 116-101. They also won a November matchup in Milwaukee, 123-114. Nine Legacy liking the Sixers, though, to get the blowout here. But I'm like you guys a little bit there after seeing that game yesterday when the Sixers really couldn't compete there as a dog against the Hornets. I don't know if I trust them there. All right, we'll keep it moving here right now in the NBA on Tuesday night. The Detroit Pistons are at the Denver Nuggets. Certainly the game of the night here, even without Nikola Jokic here. Denver's still playing well. I mean, it's just uncanny that they've been able to kind of sustain without Jokic in the lineup. And many times the lines here just kind of reflect that, uh, he's missing, and yet they still come through. Now they have had some clunkers as well, where the line is obviously shaded against them and they weren't able to come through. For example, as a 3.5 point dog at home against the Lakers, and they got beat also versus Charlotte. Remember, they were an underdog to Charlotte, and I was like, hey, this team's still playing well, but Charlotte was able to come in and beat them. Now they did beat Washington and Milwaukee in the last two games. Struggling opponents there, and Denver did get it done. This is no struggling opponent. These are the Detroit Pistons, one of the best teams in the league, clearly here right now. I don't know, people are still giving the Pistons enough attention in the Eastern Conference. They come in off of a win and cover over Sacramento. They've been covering a lot of these games, have the Detroit Pistons of late as part of this role. They've won 5 of their last 6 games overall coming in, but Denver's won 6 of their last 8. Detroit, however, has covered just 1 of the last 5 meetings against the teams, and Denver has won 5 straight against them. However, Denver just 1-4 against the spread at home. Still, Denver's won 14 of the last 16 meetings between these two teams here in Denver. Now that is a decade and a half really of results, but Detroit really has rarely ever won here in Denver. But you know what? They're the favorite in this one, so I think they're supposed to win, maybe even cover, it feels like tonight. See what you have in this one with Detroit on the road taking on Denver here. NBA action for Tuesday night. Go to the chat here in this one. Okay, Chris likes this game. He thinks the Nuggets here. Look, I think that's what's helped them, right? Is that they're still a very good team. And, you'd think that when Jokic is healthy, they can certainly compete with the Thunder just because he is such an X factor. But since he's been out, they've also done very well in the games without him. Just a good, deep team. It seems like Denver, a little bit underrated for their depth, I would say. And Greg says, got some snow. He's back. Greg's back. Took his time off, and he's back, and he's in AC there. AOD with Detroit basketball. 9 legacies on the Nuggets. Robert liking the under here. Chris Warren likes, I think, over in this one. And let's see here. Jordy's on the Nuggets. Greg's got the Gibson ratings are back. And he says 112 to 105 in favor of Detroit. I guess that's a lean to the cover there, right? Maybe a little bit of under action as well. I'm going to take the under here, actually, between Detroit and Denver tonight. Give me the under in this one with Denver and Detroit. All right, Brooklyn Nets taking on the Phoenix Suns. NBA action here for Tuesday night. Brooklyn's on an extended losing streak once again. They've lost 5 straight. Phoenix has lost 2 in a row, but they've still won 12 of their last 18 and covered 15 of their last 20 games coming into this one. Now, there are injury concerns here for Phoenix in this one as Devin Booker is out here for sure with an ankle injury. Jalen Green is questionable for the Nets. Therese Martin questionable. Clowney is out. Traore probable, and Cam Thomas is probable here in this one. We're looking at a pretty big spread here of 8, maybe even 8.5 here at a few books. But again, it's just been such a great run for Phoenix, not only straight up, but against the spread as well. They're 15-5 ATS at home this season. Brooklyn just 9-12 against the spread on the road here. So, no Booker. It looks like it's built into the line, I guess, isn't it? At 8.5 or 9. Maybe they would be 10, 11, or 12 if Booker was in there. But still, with this Brooklyn team, really no life, no heart. Right now, the two teams did meet in their first meeting 8 days ago. Phoenix won it 126-117 on the road. They won by 9 on the road, and they're favored by just 8 or 8.5 here at home, but no Booker. So is that enough, though, to get you interested here with these two? Look, there's that total at 211. Whenever we see these low totals, it just usually feels like it's an under every time, and this one feels the same way here. Let's see what you guys have in the chat with Brooklyn taking on Phoenix here in this one tonight. Whoops. Here we go with Robert is going to like the under here in this one. The Gibson ratings says, I think the Gibson ratings are clearly on the Nets here in this one. Jordy likes the under here as well. And that's what I'm on here too. Give me the under in this one with Brooklyn and Phoenix. I think it's going to be actually tough for Phoenix to maybe get this spread here tonight. Look, I can't really sell you too much on what Brooklyn could do, especially given their woes here on this losing streak. But look, they covered at home against Boston. They covered in the game there, even if it was just by half a point. They did cover in that game against Phoenix. So I'll just take the under here in this one. I think if you looked at the head-to-head here with these two, especially Phoenix, right, mentioned Phoenix and this strong home record against the number, 15-5 at home ATS, 16-5 as a favorite. They're also 6-14 to the under at home and 7-14 to the under as a favorite. So when they are home favorites, it usually goes under, is what it's saying. And not only that, Brooklyn 19-25 to the under. Most of their road games as road dogs do go under. So Greg says Brooklyn going to play hard. They'll cover and take the under. Okay, I'll take the under for sure, but probably like Brooklyn here actually to stay within it. All right, just one more in the NBA tonight. Let's go to the Clippers taking on the Jazz here in this one. Clippers road favorite against Utah. And look, Utah is struggling here right now. I know that, but hey, they got Markkanen expected in this lineup, so that's usually what we wait for. Honestly, when it comes to Utah here. Look, Clippers, talk about that Nets game and the total in that one. Clippers usually playing these low totals, but when you see a big number like this, I don't think it's going to be 211 here tonight when these two teams play. Of course, every game with Utah is just kind of wild anyways with a high score. So maybe where the Clippers maybe rely on their defense, maybe here they'll have enough to just kind of, or maybe they'll just be enticed to get into a high-scoring game with Utah here in this one. Look, I think it kind of, with Markkanen in there, I kind of just gravitate towards the Jazz as a dog in general. He is probable for the game here tonight. Now, Nurkic is doubtful. Keontae George is out. George is Yang. He's out as well. Kevin Love is probable. Kawhi, questionable here in this game. I don't know if Kawhi is going to make this lineup, actually. I am a little bit concerned. I'm surprised he's kind of on the comeback trail here already. But we'll see if he can make the lineup here with his sore knee this time around. Chris Dunn is questionable here for the Clippers. See what you folks have maybe in this one with the Eclipse on the road, laying it against the Jazz. I'm not really trusting. I don't think the Clippers too much in this game. So see what you have here. I'm going to take the Utah Jazz actually as my play here against the Clippers tonight. Give me Utah plus the points at home. Clippers have won 2 straight here, and they've actually been playing pretty well of late. So don't doubt them here. They've won 8 of their last 9. They've covered 14 of 18. They've won 5 of the last 6 against Utah and covered 6 of the last 9 against the Jazz. Jazz just 1-6 straight up, 2-4 against the spread in their last 6. But I'm taking the Jazz here right now in this one tonight. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over, and Utah's gone over in 5 of their last 7. I kind of trust the move here with the over. It's just tough. The Clippers, you don't really trust them with these high totals, but I better just take the Jazz here in this one. All right, here we go with some picks in this one. And Nine Legacy says Phoenix on the spread and Clippers on the spread. Chris is on the over. Jordy's on the over. Everyone's feeling the over here. Greg likes the Jazz. The Gibson rating says Jazz. Robert's on the Jazz. Greg says Utah and under, and Jordy also on the Jazz here. So Jazz have been bad, we know that, but I'm going to have to take them here. They're still 15-9 against the spread at home. Clippers just 10-13 against the spread as a favorite here, so I'm going to take Utah. Hey, there's been some steam rolling in. I don't want to ignore it, and we're just going to get some of these moves out here as we move on to college basketball. Good timing. So here we go with some of the moves here right now coming into the satellite studios here. Take a look at some of these moves right now that have come in the last couple of minutes. College basketball. Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan. Here's a move to the under. The steam has come in on the under here with Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan. Talk about two teams. I mean, these teams probably the most under-looking game of the card, but usually the total is not as low as we're seeing here with Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan. They usually play to a much higher score, I believe, between the two teams, but it did come in on the under here at 139 between Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan, and right now that total is at 136.5 at circa, so about a 2.5 point move to the under there in that one. Also, just moments ago, I talked about it looks like that Clippers total was going up, and that was indeed one of the moves. So the steam did come in on the over here. I look, that's the way I would probably look with the Clippers and the Jazz. Steam just came in here up to 233.5 right now, and Clippers game at 233.5. But Utah 18-9 to the over at home, and Clippers 13-10 to the over on the road. I will say when they're a favorite, it usually leans under a little bit, but steam came in on the over here with the Clippers and Utah just a moment or two ago, up to 233 here at a few bucks, 233.5 right now at DraftKings. So that's clearly up a couple points here with the Clippers and Utah. Also, Houston Christian took some steam in their matchup here tonight with Incarnate Word. Houston Christian was getting 2, but they took the steam here right now, and Houston Christian is about a pick 'em here. Let's see here. Yep, in fact, they're getting 1, or maybe they're getting 1 right now, but the steam came in on Houston Christian. Houston Christian, know the time has come. New Orleans and Nicholls State, some steam to the over in this one. This one's an early start with two teams that definitely produced some overs, but the steam came in on the over here, and it was 156.5. We see the steam. They did dummy that one down a little bit, but right now it is
final
here currently at oh, I'm sorry. That I had trouble finding it because it is a late game. Actually, it's not an early game there between these two. It is not a morning game, an afternoon game here with Houston Christian. And I'm sorry, what did I say? Oh, I'm sorry, New Orleans. Okay, I'm sorry, New Orleans and Nicholls there with that steam. It is an afternoon game. 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, and that total is up to 158.5 steam to the over with New Orleans and Nicholls there. Also, steam here to the under in the game between Michigan State and Rutgers. This one was 136.5. We've seen some steam to the under here in that one with Michigan State and Rutgers. That total right now is 130. It's really only gone down about a half a point here on that steam. We're showing 135.5 here in Vegas at stations. So a 1 point move to the under there with Michigan State and Rutgers. Also, Boise State and San Jose State, some steam to the over here in this one with Boise and San Jose. It was 138.5. But we've seen this one go up here just a short time ago, and it's now at 140 between Boise State and San Jose State. Also steam this morning on East Texas A&M in their matchup against Lamar. They were getting 7, but the steam came in on East Tennessee State in that one, and they're now getting 5.5 from the Cardinals. Steam on East Tennessee State this morning. Texas Southern, they took the steam in their matchup against Alabama State. In that one, it was where's it? Oh, that's the early game here. It was Alabama State was a 1.5 point favorite. Right now, Texas Southern's a 2 point favorite. So clearly a big move there in that one in the matchup. So right now, Texas Southern is the actual favorite there against Alabama State. I think there are a few other moves that I could pass along to you here. Ohio U took some steam in their matchup with Kent State this morning. They were getting 8.5, but the move came in on Ohio, and this one is currently at 7 right now. So 1.5 point move there. Ohio took the steam this morning against Kent State. Also, Oklahoma took the steam in their matchup with Arkansas. It was 2.5 in that one. Pretty decent matchup today between these two. And Oklahoma was the team that took the steam. They were getting 2.5, but right now it is currently at, well, still 2.5. So not much of a move there. I was on a show last night touting Arkansas. I mean, they're clearly the better cover of the two teams this season. So it's still 2.5 in that one. And also here, West Virginia took some steam in their matchup against Kansas State. West Virginia was an 8 point favorite, but the steam came in here on West Virginia. They're up to 9 this morning on some widely reported steam. And also Marquette is today the day the steam came in here a little bit on Marquette, plus the points there against Creighton. Creighton was a 2.5 point favorite. The steam came in on Marquette. Maybe today's the day. It's down to 2, maybe even 1.5 here right now. Steam on Marquette. Just seconds ago, just seeing some steam here come in right now on Northwestern State and Stephen F. Austin. Some steam to the under here in this one. This is a series that usually goes well over this number, but steam came in on the under here at 143 with Northwestern State and SFA. Right now, that one here is down to, I keep getting these early starts confused here, 140.5. So pretty serious move there to the under. That surprises me. Northwestern State and Stephen F. Austin. Although, you are seeing a lot of these MEAC and SWAC conference games definitely trending under here this season. Okay, we'll get moving here. We're talking college ball, so let's keep it going with the college action right now and get into the matchups. I want to say hello to Andrew K in the chat today. There, and let's see, Chris did take let's see, TSU Moneyline, TSU, Texas Southern. Yeah, Texas Southern, got it there. Good morning to Bar. And Chris helping me out on these time. Look, I've been telling him all the time changes here right every day. But all right, good morning to Art Thompson in the chat. Chris Warren talking a little Texas Southern basketball. Let's get it moving here with our previews of the college game today. Take a look. I'm going to look at one of the matchups here in the 4 games. So this one is at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, with Prairie View favored. I think I said they're up to 2.5, and it's a total down here to 252 in this one. 152. So just want to take a look at like I said, let me just cover them here. There are 4 of the games that have been write-in games here. You have Alabama State and Texas Southern at 2 p.m. This one's at 2 p.m. Northwestern Stephen F. Austin's at 4 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans and Nichols is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So you do have some daytime contests here today. Good for us here. Our bets here. All right. Let's see what you have here in this one with Alabama A&M taking on Prairie View today. Alabama A&M comes in here just 1-9 in their last 10 games on the road. They've lost 11 of the last 13 games overall to Prairie View. A&M's just or Alabama A&M is just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games. My 7th grade English teacher was a wide receiver at Alabama A&M. That was my first indoctrination to the HBCUs. I think that was before they were called. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but that was a long time ago. No doubt, 40 years ago. For Prairie View here, just 2-6 straight up in their last 8, 1-6 ATS in their last 7 at home. But again, they've won this series in 11 of the last 13 matchups. I'd have to go with them here today. I want to go with Prairie View A&M in this matchup with Alabama A&M. I'm going to take Prairie View here in this one. Prairie View comes in 8-12 overall. Alabama A&M's 10-9. So I think out of all those games, this was probably the one at least worth looking at here with this SWAC contest right now. You have Prairie View 3-4 in conference play, Alabama A&M 3-3 in conference play. And see what you guys have. Prairie View's lost 3 straight, actually coming in with losses to Jackson State, Alcorn, and Alabama State. Alabama and A&M, meanwhile, come in off of a loss to Texas Southern, 89-74, although they did win and cover against Jackson State and Alabama State. But I'm going to take Prairie View A&M here to win and cover 2.5. The move has been on Prairie View A&M up from 1.5, so give me Prairie View A&M in this one. Okay, that's what we do on the Morning Steam. We take a look at all these games eventually, hopefully look at every team by the time we get done with the season and into the postseason. So whatever team squeaks in there from the SWAC, we can say we talked about them. All right. Twisted beat that steam. Was that the Clippers team or the uh, Northwestern State SFA steam? I might have missed it. Twisted. Okay. Chris said he beat that steam there with that total. I gotcha. I gotcha. Twisted there. Let's see. Chris Warren says Prairie View. That was a pick opening last night. All right. Chris had some friends and relatives going to Prairie View. NYC bars on the over here in this one. The Gibson ratings favors Prairie View there to win. Robert's on the under here in this one. R. Thompson's on the over though. Chris Warren was offered to go there to Texas Southern. Okay, Twisted says home court. Look, there's no doubt here, Twisted, right? If you just broad brush the MEAC and SWAC games, you'd be a favorite and under, home favorites and unders every time, right? Maybe I should try to get the numbers together this season and kick myself in the tush every time I try to go with a road dog in these leagues. Here's Prairie View for Twisted. All right, I did want to cover those early games, at least one of the early games here. You can go to the SWAC website, I think, to watch this game. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the total TV here, but those games, I believe, are just internet coverage. All right, let's get serious here now with this big one tonight. Maybe one of the biggest games of the season here between top 5 teams. Nebraska, number 5 in the country, 20-0 coming into this one. Michigan ranked 3rd. They are 18-1. We know they, tasted defeat there at home against Washington in a bit of a stunner. They were 18.5-point favorites and did lose. Meanwhile, they did bounce back with a win, with 4 straight wins here over Washington, Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State. However, they didn't cover any of those games. In fact, Michigan, for all their success, has failed to cover in 6 straight games. Coming into this one, you got Nebraska coming in here, right? I mean, look, they're the team coming in 20-0, and they're getting 10 points from Michigan now. Look, Michigan's pretty great. We know that. But, Nebraska, look, they were, you remember an underdog against Indiana on the road? They were able to get that one, 4.5-point dog, won by 6. Nebraska is 3-0 ATS as an underdog this season. For the Wolverines here, they do come in right now off of those 4 wins, but just 7-10 against the spread as a favorite for the Wolverines. Michigan has gone under in 6 of their last 7. 10 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Michigan, however, is 8-3 against the spread. The last 11 meetings against the Cornhuskers. Nebraska's gone under in 8 of their last 9 games coming in. And I think if you look at these two teams overall, they're combined 13-26 to the under, although Nebraska 2-1 to the over in those 3 games that they were underdogs. Nebraska's covered 5 of their last 6 games coming in here. So one of the biggest games of the season tonight between Nebraska and Michigan. What do you have in this one? Hey, there's Twisted with his plays for those early games. I really appreciate that, Twisted. That's so cool. Prairie View and under. Alabama State and under. SFA or under. And Nicholls State or under. Nebraska for Twisted as well. VAR's on Nebraska. Maybe a little money line. Bobby Max on Nebraska. The Gibson ratings here. Maybe that's Michigan there, it looks like. Maybe the over. D Money's on the everybody's. I'm going to take Nebraska. Everybody's on Nebraska pretty much in the chat. Let's do it. I'm going to take Nebraska here to cover this spread against Michigan. Maybe this is supposed to be one of those games that the spread tells all, but Nebraska 5-0 against the spread on the road. Michigan 7-10 ATS is a favorite. They are 7-5 ATS at home, but man, I'm going to take Nebraska. You guys are on Nebraska, so why not take Nebraska here? D Money's on Nebraska. Wow. All right, that should be a great one tonight. Featured game of the whole card for sure. In the other sports too, in the other leagues too. All right, let's continue to cover a few games here tonight. Let's go to the ACC with Syracuse on the road taking on NC State. Wolfpack have won 2 games in a row here over Pittsburgh and Clemson. They got the money in those. Syracuse, meanwhile, 3 straight losses here to BC, Virginia Tech, and Miami coming in. So a little bit of a tough rut here currently for the Qs. Qs has gone just 5-10 against the spread in their last 15 games overall, but they have dominated this series with NC State. They've won 8 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams, and Syracuse 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 against NC State. Wolfpack have won 4 of their last 5 games, including wins against Florida State and Boston College as well, and they've gone 6-3 ATS in their last 9. Syracuse not a great cover this year at 9-11, but they sure do have a good run in this series. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Syracuse has gone over in 5 of their last 6, and NC State's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. Syracuse is 4-1 to the over on the true road, but I'm just going to take Syracuse here plus these points. I mean, they've won 8 of the last 9 meetings between the two, and I don't know if we're seeing really NC State here decidedly better than Syracuse right now. They have 14-6, pretty good record. Syracuse just 12-8, but I gotta take Syracuse in this one. Give me the Qs tonight against NC State. Chris says 10.5, probably a little bit too many here in this one. And Twisted's on NC State here to roll. VAR is on Syracuse. Twisted said NC State just a much better team right now. Don't weigh in that historical data. The Gibson ratings here, maybe the lean to Syracuse there. Twisted's got the Wolfpack to roll. Arizona State on the road here taking on Central Florida. College basketball action for Tuesday night. ASU coming in 11-9. Central Florida having a strong season, 15-4, but they've dropped 2 of their last 3. They are coming in off of a win, however, over Colorado. 95-86 is a 3.5-point dog. ASU, meanwhile, off of a win at home against Cincinnati. 82-68 is a 3-point dog. ASU 7-4 against the spread on the road. 7-4 ATS as an underdog. UCF just 4-6 ATS as a favorite here. Arizona State, those lost 7 of their last 9 overall coming in to this one. They're just 1-4 straight up on the true road. Central Florida undefeated as a favorite this season. They're also 10-2 straight up at home. They've won 14 of 17 right now, and they've won these 10 of 12 home games. Arizona State just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 overall. ASU's gone over in 7 straight road games, and 9 of their last 10 overall have gone over as well coming in. The widely reported steam did come in on the under in this game. Currently, the total, though, Let me see if it's still, maybe I have to adjust this here. 164.5. So that steam, let me see here. Wow. That does surprise me a little bit. I'm gonna take the under in this one with Arizona State and Central Florida. I'm gonna kind of pivot here on the fly. I see here the total going over. I understand. I mean ASU's been pretty much a big time over here this season. They are 12-8 to the over, 6-0 to the over on the road, but UCF is 7-12 to the under. They played some unders at home. I'm going to go under in this one with Arizona State and Central Florida. Under is going to be my play here at 164.5. UCF has gone under in 6 of their last 7. Okay, here we go. Okay. VAR is on the under here. Greg, the Gibson ratings here have, I think this is clearly Central Florida here, by 10 right there. And also here, let's see. Maybe that's an over, though. Twisted, maybe taking the under here with me. Robert likes ASU to win it, to cover the spread here. Greg says it's a woodshed game for UCF here. And Greg says you saw Central Florida beat Kansas earlier this season. Why wouldn't they be able to win this one? All right, let's go to a couple of games in the MAC. Look, I mean, I know it's all about Miami of Ohio, but look, you still have this Buffalo team, an underdog here against Bowling Green. I mean, this is, if it wasn't for something called Miami of Ohio, this would probably be a pretty decent game on the schedule today with Buffalo on the road here in this one, taking on the Falcons. Falcons favored here by 8. And the total in this one is at 150 here. Both teams come in here with 13-7 records. Buffalo is struggling here right now. They've had a good season, but this is a losing streak for sure here for the Bulls coming into this one. Losers here of, I believe, 5 straight right now coming into this matchup. Bowling Green, meanwhile, they've come in here with consecutive win. Oh, I'm sorry. They lost to Toledo last time out on the road, but did have consecutive wins over Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan before that. But still, pretty big number here for Bowling Green, laying the 8 points with these two. See what you have in this one with Bowling Green taking on Buffalo Bulls. Bowling Green just 2-7 against the spread at home. Buffalo's 6-3 against the spread on the road, despite what we've seen from, this poor run here currently from Buffalo. Losses to Akron and Massachusetts in their last 2 games didn't come close. Remember, they played Miami of Ohio so tough. They got the number, but lost in that game by 3 points. They've also lost to Kent and Ohio here recently as well. For Bowling Green, right now they've gone under in 9 of 12 games as a favorite. They're also 3-6 to the under at home. Buffalo is 4-5 to the under on the road, but 5-3 to the over as an underdog. So see what you have here with Buffalo and Bowling Green. Then we're going to talk about Miami of O next here. I'll go to the chat here in this one to see what you have. It's going to be, here we go. Twisted says Buffalo plus the points. Robert Dixon's here today. Robert's early today. He's got the under in this one. Greg, the Gibson ratings, I believe, favors Buffalo here. Greg says, don't sleep on them. Twisted says Buffalo can knock it down from the outside. Buffalo, you look at their home games here of late. I mean, this total is what is, let me see it here. 150, 149 and a half. These Buffalo home games really have gone way over this, right? I mean, some of these scores at home. Now, the last one wasn't under for sure, and so was the Akron game, and they just didn't show up offensively with just averaging 65 points in those two games. But the game against Kent went for 168. The game against Ohio went for 171. I'm going over in this one with Buffalo and Bowling Green. I got to go over here in this one. Chris says tough travel here for everybody. Hopefully it's all clearing up. What's going on where you folks are at here? It's only 36 here in Las Vegas. Didn't have to worry about the frozen grape bars that got delivered this morning melting with my Amazon grocery delivery. All right, Robert here is on the under though. Twisted's on the under as well. So me and D Money are going to be on the over. I guess we're alone, D Money. All right, let's get it going here with the UMass and Miami of Ohio. Actually, this spread's already gone up here this morning on Miami of Ohio. What could you do? This team, maybe it is a public move. I don't know. I mean, this team right now coming in with this undefeated record here, and they should be able to beat UMass, no doubt. But easier said than done. All right, for Miami O here right now. What is? I think the line's gone up to 10. It's gone up to 10. 164 and a half here. The steam came in on Miami O. There we go. Okay. So let's talk about Miami of Ohio here. Clearly the best team, I think, in the MAC. Every challenger that's come at them, they still kind of get the win every time. And not only that, get the covers too. Miami of Ohio still 13-4 against the spread overall, 9-4 against the spread as a favorite. Now, UMass is one of the best dogs in the country. They are 6-1 against the spread ATS as a dog, although just 4-4 ATS on the road. So it's really as a home dog where they've kind of excelled. Miami of Ohio is 13-4 to the over this season, 8-1 to the over at home, 11-2 to the over as a favorite here. So kind of some big numbers there, if you will, to the over in this one. The teams are combined 25-12 to the over here this season. Wow. So that total at 164 and a half. I might just be, I don't know if it's square, but let's see what you guys have before I go spouting off in this one. I want to hear from you in the chat. Like I said, it has gone up here at least a point. It feels I'm taking Miami of Ohio. Come on, I'm taking Miami of Ohio. I haven't even gone to the chat yet. I'm still going to take them here. Let's see what you got. Okay, Miami of Ohio here for Twisted, and maybe the over. Bars on the over. Look, we've seen some big-time overs here from Miami O, no doubt about it. Terrell says, that's my team. Which Terrell said there? The Gibson ratings coming in here. So the Gibson ratings are clearly on the dog here. A little bit too high, it says the Gibson ratings. 79 to, what does he have it there? 86 to 79. He's got it there for Miami O. But that, clearly, yeah, that's clearly going to be an underdog cover, right? Okay, and let's see. Robert's on the under here as well. Hey, good morning to Sharpie in the chat. He's ready to get out the bats and balls. He's ready to head out to spring training and get it rolling for the baseball season right now. Obviously, seen some news here of late on the baseball front. Good morning to Sharpie. Hopefully, had a great holiday season. And yeah, before you know it, look, it's late January. Hey, it's baseball season as far as I'm concerned. I wrote a story last night on a community college baseball opener, so I know it's baseball season somewhere already, especially out here in the West. All right, and I'll take Miami O in that big game. One more in the colleges here with tonight in the Mountain West with New Mexico on the road taking on the Rebs. New Mexico 4.5-point favorite, 155.5 here, I think, down to 154.5 actually. There we go. And this one, 5 and 154.5. All right. New Mexico's dropped won two straight coming into this one with wins over Fresno and Nevada. They didn't cover in those. They were favored by a few too many. UNLV, meanwhile, off of a loss the other night to San Diego State. San Diego State really did kind of put a pummeling on them, actually winning by 11 as a 3.5-point favorite over the Rebs. UNLV had won 3 straight before that in conference play over Boise, San Jose, and Utah State. They beat Utah State on the road as a 15.5-point dog in one of the biggest upsets of the season in the Mountain West so far. So see, though, what you have here in this one with New Mexico coming in here 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. Meanwhile, UNLV 5-4-1 ATS in their last 10. Coming in to this one, these two teams have not met yet this season, but last year in their two matchups, it was New Mexico winning them both, including here in Las Vegas, 79-73. But New Mexico was a 4-point favorite in that one. They did not cover, actually, despite the victory. New Mexico comes in here having won 12 of their last 14. They're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 overall. New Mexico just 1-4 ATS in their last 5 against UNLV. New Mexico's gone over in 5 straight games coming in. This is a late game at 11 Eastern and 8 Pacific. UNLV's won 5 of their last 6 at home and 6 of their last 9 overall. 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but overall, New Mexico 6-1 to the over on the road. UNLV 7-3 to the over at home. So maybe the trends favor the over here. However, usually when these two teams meet, it doesn't usually finish in this high of a range. I know maybe we're dealing with New Mexico and their offense, and Shot Fake Jake, my man, is having a great season. Watch for Shot Fake Jake Hall. He's got one of the best nicknames in all of college basketball. I mean, how do you think he gets open and makes those shots? Shot Fake Jake is what we call him. New Mexico last 8 times they've been in here to the Rebels at Thomas and Mack, and rarely goes anywhere even close to this type of number, actually. So you do have the two teams trending to the over. It's just that when they meet, it's usually an under, especially when they meet here in Vegas. In fact, 8 straight meetings have not produced anywhere close to this number. Last 8 meetings have been under this in this range, if you will, when these two teams meet. Did I explain it correctly there? Go to the chat here in this one. I think it's kind of making me almost want to consider the under, but Let's see what you got here in this one. Rebels are getting the points at home. I mean, it might be too much for me to pass up. I might have to take the Rebels, actually. Yeah, UMass doing pretty well. 9 Legacies on New Mexico. Roberts on UNLV. The Gibson ratings favor UNLV here, it looks like. And that favors the over, though. Terrell has it as an under here for sure. Says away from the pit. That's a pretty low number there for sure. Yeah. And Greg says UNLV in the over. I'm going to take the Rebels here as my pick, but I'm looking here maybe a premium as well. But it's just that, like I said, both teams of Rebels 6-3 to the over is a dog. New Mexico 9-4 to the over is a favorite. Kind of want to take the under though, but let me just take the Rebels here, and I still may be on the under. I might just bet it. All right, there's Twisted on the under and LALB liking the Rebs. And they've been talking about bringing back old Hey Reb, right? I mean, always controversial, right? Because of the historical connections to the Confederacy. But, with this administration in office here, Hey Reb has found some life. Maybe they could bring back the mascot for the Rebels. They could change him a little bit to maybe a little bit more modern there, right? Doesn't have to look like he's coming from the deep south or anything. Bring back Hey Reb there. It's better than old Beauregard. Okay, Twisted said New Mexico's just been the better team defensively as well. And UNLV can score. But watch for Jake Hall, man. This guy can fill it up from downtown. He's my man right now. He's one of the best shooters in the Mountain West. All right, LALB on the under. Shot fake Jake. Take a look at him tonight. Oh, so one more here, Twisted. Here he's got New Mexico and the under. That's it for me for the college ranks. And let's go to the NHL here tonight. We got a big card, so settle in. We're not done yet. In fact, I got to turn on the old alternate steam machine over here just in case I don't want to miss anything. Let's go to the National Hockey League tonight and get rolling with a good game to start us off. Whoops, I think I got the wrong goalie in there, though. I think we got the wrong matchup, actually. The Sabres and the Sabres. Gotta like the Sabres in that one. There we go. Sabres and Leafs. Going to start us off here. NHL card for Tuesday night. Bring the right notes in here. All right. Sabres on the road here. Slight dog here to Toronto. What's going on here? Toronto losers of 4 straight. The Sabres have won 3 straight. These are the Sabres after all right now. Come on. Buffalo here, 14-8. Are they a favorite here? Buffalo has moved to a favorite here this morning. Let me update the line. I'm sorry. Buffalo has moved to the favorite, maybe $1.15, maybe just a complete flip-flop of the line right now. There we go. There we go. Yeah, for sure here. We got Buffalo on the road, $1.15 here. Total 6.5 over at minus 115 or so. But, Toronto was definitely the overnight favorite right now. But maybe just this 4-game losing streak again. They just lost to Colorado the other night. Their 4 losses, not exactly the easy teams. Talking about the Maple Leafs here, losses to Minnesota, Detroit, Vegas, and Colorado. For Buffalo, meanwhile, maybe their wins weren't so well. Nashville, Montreal, and the Islanders, but they're obviously playing well again, these Buffalo Sabres, man. Sabres here, 14 14-8 is a favorite, I guess I could say. They're a favorite now, and Toronto 10-14 as a dog. Now Toronto is 16-8 at home this season, so we know they've been pretty stellar at home, winning here right now. But come on, these Buffalo Sabres, everybody's talking Sabres hockey. For Buffalo here, they've come in winning 16 of their last 20 games overall. Now, they have lost 6 of the last 7 meetings to Toronto, but Toronto here just 1-4 in their last 5 home games, 1-6 overall in their last 7. Toronto's gone over in 4 of their last 5 meetings with Buffalo, and Toronto's gone over in 6 of their last 8. The Sabres have gone over in 8 of their last 11 games. Coming into this one, Buffalo's 14-8 to the over as a favorite, and Toronto's 17-13 to the over at home. So let's see how you have this one between Buffalo and Toronto here. Come on, Buffalo's going to win this game, aren't they? Let's see what you got in the chat. Robert's on Buffalo. The Gibson ratings are on Buffalo. Twisted likes the under here. Twisted likes the Sabres. Nine Legacy says Meat Leaps on the money line. All right. I'll take the over in this one with Buffalo and Toronto tonight. Give me the over here. Like I said, Toronto 30-22 to the over. The series goes over, so I'll just take the over here in this one between Buffalo and Toronto. Twisted says the over is a stronger play. NYC Bar is on the Toronto puck line. Twisted says Toronto's had some issues defensively and in the goalkeeping as well. Buffalo's goaltending stays pretty solid here. It's not their strongest point, but well, when they're winning the way they are, I'd say they're pretty strong. Probably with Luukkonen in here. Some sites are showing Stolars as the possible goalie here. Let's see if we have any current update on this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not quite sure yet on the other end what's going to happen here with the Leafs. I think Wool is actually, isn't he sidelined a little bit right now? Okay. I'll just leave it as such. We know who is sidelined, and that's William Nylander, and those guys are hanging out, flipping off the cameras and gotten into a little bit of trouble there. All right, maybe an over here. Okay, I'm on the over. All right. Let's go next here to Winnipeg. On the road here, taking on New Jersey. NHL action for Tuesday night. My West Indies team here about to play. All right. All right, yeah, the Devils here, $1.25, and the total here, 5.5 over in this one, with possibly Hellebuck going up against Allen. Winnipeg's lost 2 straight right now with losses to Buffalo and Florida. New Jersey comes in off of a loss to Seattle, but they were on a 3-game winning streak before that. Winnipeg here comes in having lost 4 of their last 5 overall, and they've also lost 10 of their last 11 on the road. New Jersey's actually won 5 of their last 7, but I'm going to give Winnipeg possibly a chance here. Let's see what you guys have. Winnipeg's gone over in 9 of their last 13, but New Jersey's gone under in 14 of their last 20, including 7 of their last 8 games at home coming in. So see what you have here with Hellebuck and Allen, I believe, slated to be in net here. I know the Sharps are going to be all over the under in this game, but I'm probably going to go over. I know it's 5.5, and You look at these teams, I think they reek to at least New Jersey, right? 8-15 to the under, but Winnipeg's an over team. We know that. They're 30-21 to the over, 13-5 to the over as a dog. I'm going to take the over in this one, actually, between Winnipeg and New Jersey. Give me the over 5.5 here tonight. Winnipeg, 7-3 to the over in their last 10. They just beat New Jersey at home 4-3 2 weeks ago. 7 goals in that one. So I'm going to go over here with Winnipeg and New Jersey today. Gibson ratings here, though, 3-2 Devils. Twisted's with me on the over. Oh, one more in there. Twisted said home favorites are more consistent at home than the Jets on the road. Okay, next up, Golden Knights on the road taking on the Canadians here. Good one here from Montreal. You got, Vegas has lost 3 of their last 4 games coming into this one. They're off of a loss to Ottawa last time out. They beat Toronto on the road before that. This is their 4th straight road game. Montreal here, meanwhile, have lost 2 straight to Buffalo and to Boston here. Look, these 2 teams, I mean, you think of goal scoring right now. These teams have combined 62 and 41 to the over. Vegas is 26-18 to the over as a favorite. Montreal is 20-8 to the over as a dog. Coming into this one. For the Golden Knights here, they've had some struggles here of late, but still, you look at it overall, still coming in here, 13-7 on the road. Montreal, 14-11 at home. Vegas has won 7 of the last 9 meetings between the 2 teams. Vegas has still won 8 of their last 11 overall. Montreal's dropped 4 of their last 6, but they are 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games at home. Vegas has gone, talk about these overs, man. Vegas has gone over in 5 of their last 6 and 8 of their last 11 on the road. For Montreal here, they've gone over in 4 of their last 5, and also 6 of the last 9 meetings between the 2 teams have gone over. Go to the chat and see what you have here in this one with the Golden Knights. And Hill in net. Here's Robert on Montreal tonight. Twisted's on the Canadians. He's also on the under. The Gibson ratings have the Golden Knights. I'm taking the Golden Knights here in this one. Give me Vegas tonight on the road as a favorite here in this one at $1.20 or so. Maybe down to $1.15. I think we got to call it $1.15 actually. In the total, 6.5 there. So maybe a little bit of move to the Canadians here, but I'm going to take the Golden Knights here in this one. 2 of my favorite teams right there. All right, the Woolly Mammoth on the road here, taking on Florida. Utah coming in here, 27, 21-4. A bit of an underdog here against Florida, 28-20-3. Both teams come in relatively hot right now. Florida with 3 straight wins over Winnipeg, Minnesota, and Chicago. Meanwhile, for Utah, they ended off a loss to Tampa Bay, but before that, they were on a winning streak, playing some of their best hockey of the season right now. Utah has won 5 of their last 6 overall. Florida's won 4 of their last 5. Florida, though, has dropped 5 of their last 7 at home. Florida's beaten the Mammoth 9 of the last 10 meetings here in Sunrise, and also they've also won 6 straight over Utah overall. Utah has gone under in 6 of their last 8 on the road, but Florida's gone over in 5 of their last 7 coming in. Florida 20-15 to the over as a favorite, but Utah 12-16 to the under on the road. What's going to happen tonight when Utah takes on Florida here in Sunrise? I know the Sharps are going to be on the under here. I'm gonna take Utah. This is just too big. Is it still $1.55? I'm sure it's gone down a little bit. Well, square books are still $1.55. I'm taking Utah here tonight to win against Florida. Give me the Mammoth. I might be back on the Mammoth here a little bit, it feels like. All right. Twisted says maybe there'll be 6 or 7 goals here tonight. Twisted's on Utah. LALB's on the over, and Twisted's on the under, but I'm going to take the Mammoth here in this one. Florida does own this series, like I said, but I'm going to try this team at $1 plus $1.30 or better tonight. The Gibson ratings say take the Mammoth here. Kings and Wings here for Tuesday. The Kings game last night with Columbus was postponed with that wintry weather, but they were able to make it hopefully here to Detroit. Kings come in 21, 16, and 13. Detroit comes in 32, 16, and 5. Both teams pretty warm here right now. LA winners of 2 straight victories over St. Louis and the Rangers. They weren't perfect in those games, but they were able to get it done. They were on a losing streak kind of before that. But for Detroit here, they're pretty hot for sure. They're in off of a win over Winnipeg, 6-1 last time out, and they've just been playing pretty well overall. The Red Wings, what can you say about what they've been doing this season? Kings clearly better on the road. We know that. They've been better on the road all season. They're 13-6 on the road overall, but still Detroit 18-8 at home, 14-9 as a favorite coming into this one. Detroit's won 8 of their last 10 overall and 8 of their last 9 at home. Kings have actually lost 6 of their last 9 overall and lost 4 of the last 5 meetings against the Red Wings. Kings have gone over in 10 of their last 14 on the road. Detroit's gone over in 7 of the last 8 games with LA. Does feel like an over with these two teams maybe right now, especially with the way LA is going over. But Detroit is 8-15 to the under as a favorite. Let's see what you guys have here in this one. With the Kings on the road, taking on the Wings. I'm going to take my Kings here in this one. Give me the Kings to win as a slight dog against the Red Wings tonight. I'll take LA. Here is, let's see here, 9 Legacy, Florida puck line, and Kings on the money line. Red Wings for Twisted. Twisted likes the over as well. Twisted says these guys kind of going over here of late. LALB's on the over. Greg's got the under, though. I think he's got Detroit in this one. I'll take the Kings. All right, here's my Nashville Predators on the road, taking on Boston here. I think we're looking at mostly a pick 'em right now. Maybe Boston a slight favorite. Total at 6. Well, let's see, 6.5 under 20, maybe 6 over 15 or so, somewhere right in that range. Nashville's lost 3 of 4 coming in, including a loss last time out to Utah, 5-2. They beat Ottawa before that, but for Boston here, lost to the Rangers last time out 4-3. Boston here 19-8 at home, 10-6 as a favorite here. Are they now a favorite? Maybe the slightest of favorites, but still feels like a pick 'em at most books, actually. Now, remember, there was a time when I couldn't stop betting Nashville, and maybe back to my ways here, I think, in this one. I mean, I know Nashville here, 14-21 as a dog, if they are indeed a dog, but I'm going to take Nashville in this one, actually, over the Bruins today. I'm back. I'm back with my Nashville Predators. I'm back together with them here. I'm going to take them at a pick 'em here over the Bruins tonight. Give me Nashville in this one. Nashville's won the last two meetings against these two teams. Between these two teams, they have not met yet here this season, but I'm going to take them on the road here to win this one. A little bit of a stunner tonight. Give me the Predators on the road against those Bruins in TD. Nashville comes in here having lost 6 of the last 9 against Boston overall. Boston's won 7 straight at home, 8 of their last 10 overall. So not a lot signaling the Predators here, but I'm going to take them. Boston's gone under in 5 of the last 6 matchups with Nashville, although Boston's gone over in 5 straight overall. They're 9-7 to the over as a favorite. Nashville's gone over in 6 straight. 5 of the last 7 meetings here in Boston have gone over as well. So if it's going over, I think Nashville, maybe it'll be 4-3 on the Gibson ratings. I haven't looked yet, but that's what it feels like it might be. Here comes some of the plays from the chat. It's going to be, there it is. Ta-da! 4-3 Predators. I promise you I didn't look, Greg. Robert's on the Predators here. Boston money line for Twisted. He likes it under here. I think I'm on the Predators in this one. Robert said, don't forget, Ramon, you got that back-to-back from last night, too, and with that Bruins game against the Rangers. Yeah, the Bruins, I thought they were going to win that game, but Twisted said these two teams combined for 6.1 goals on average here. All right, we're on the bottom half of the schedule here still with the Blackhawks on the road taking on the Wild here. Yeah, you know what? I mean, Wild obviously going to be a pretty big favorite here, but you can't doubt Chicago sometimes on the puck line. I mean, they got a pretty decent puck line record, that's for sure. They come in here with a record of 34-15 on the puck line. Minnesota just 9-21 as a puck line favorite. So, like I said, my rule of 2/3 there definitely favors Chicago here on the puck line, maybe. For these two, they've got Chicago here going under in 22-27 to the under as a dog, but Minnesota 18-12 to the over as a favorite here. I think Wallstat is in there. Maybe overnight they were indicating that it would be Gustafsson, but I think I'm not quite sure here who's going to be in goal. Maybe it will be Gus, but I thought it might be Wallstedt. I kind of changed overnight from what the ratings said. Most of them had a kind of Gustafsson in there, but we're seeing a little bit more, a few more sites kind of indicating that maybe it will be Wallstedt here tonight. These two teams met back in November. Minnesota won it 4-3. Chicago played pretty well in that one too. Got the puck line there with these two. Chicago comes in here right now having won 4 of their last 5 on the road, despite going just 2-5 in their last 7 overall. Chicago gets dominated in this series, no doubt. Minnesota's won 16 of the last 17 meetings between the two and 8 straight meetings here at home. That may put you on Blackhawks even on the puck line. Minnesota's gone over in 8 straight games here right now, including 5 straight overs at home. But let's see how you have it with these two. I know that the Sharps here in this one. Maybe we don't know about the goalie situation here, but oh man, I think I kind of want to take the under. Let's see what you got here. Maybe I'll just take Chicago on the puck line. Okay, here we go. LALV's on the over here. Greg took the Predators in that one. 4-3 here for Greg. LALB's on the over. Twisted's on the Wild here in this one. All right. I'm going to go over in this one with Chicago and Minnesota tonight. Give me the over here as my play. I think the Blackhawks are going to be able to hang in this one, and maybe we'll get a 4-3 game, as Greg said, and maybe the Blackhawks hang in there for sure. All right, I'm watching West Indies bat here, doing a good job. All right, West Indies. Taking on South Africa here. All right. Let's go to the next one here right now with Dallas on the road, taking on the Blues tonight in St. Louis. Dallas comes in here 29-14-9. St. Louis 19-24-9. St. Louis has lost 4 straight here right now with losses to LA, Dallas, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. They actually played pretty well in the last 2 games there against LA and Dallas despite the losses. Dallas off of a win here over the St. Louis team just a couple of nights, well, say a couple of nights ago. It's actually 4 nights ago. So St. Louis actually played LA since then, but for Dallas here, they played St. Louis in the last game and have been off since. So St. Louis has had a game in between, and Dallas has had a bit of a respite here of late. These 2 teams also, let's see here, Dallas has dominated the series. Dallas has won 5 of the last 6 meetings between the 2 teams overall. Still, we know Dallas has had these struggles right now. This season, their worst run, 4-11 over the last 15 games. St. Louis has lost 4 of their last 5, but they've won 4 of their last 5 at home. Dallas has gone under in 6 of their last 7 games coming in, including 4 of their last 5 on the road. St. Louis has gone under in 6 of their last 7 against Dallas and 5 of their last 6 overall here. So I don't know if Dallas is here to be trusted in this one, the way they've been going. It's hard enough just to win the games here. Still a big favorite. I'm going to take the under in this one between Dallas and St. Louis. I think it's poised for an under for sure, given some of these trends here anyway. The meeting here back a couple weeks ago was 3-2 in favor of Dallas, as I said. What did I say? 4 days ago. 4 days ago, whatever. I'm going to go with the under here as my play. All right, let's see. I think Twisted might be on the under. Might have been the other game. Here's Twisted on Dallas here. The Gibson ratings 4-2 Dallas, over for Twisted. Oh, all right. I'm on the under, though. You guys made the call on the over. I'm taking the under in this one. All right, the Capitals are going to take on the Kraken here on Tuesday night. And the Caps are favored on the road here. Wow. They're not playing very well. Seattle isn't exactly either, but Seattle has won 2 of their last 3 with wins over the Islanders and New Jersey. They did lose to Anaheim. Meanwhile, Washington finally stopped a losing streak with a win over Calgary, but then they lost to Edmonton the next game. These 2 teams here, it's been mostly Washington when these 2 teams have met right now. Washington's won 5 of the last 6 meetings between the 2 teams. Seattle's lost 5 of their last 7 overall, but Washington's lost 5 of their last 6. Like I said, these 2 teams, bit of a struggle here of late. Seattle's gone under in 6 of their last 7 meetings with Washington coming in. I think these 2 teams have been kind of under teams this season. You got especially Seattle 8-18 to the under at home. You got Thompson and Grubauer here going in this one here tonight. But I'm going to buck the trends, I think, here. And I want the over in this game. I don't know if I can give you much of a trend here that might point to the over here. I'm kind of going maybe on the eye test. Washington has had a few overs on the road here of late. They went over in the game against Edmonton. They went over in the game against Vancouver, and they went over in the game against Washington, and all those were on the road. So I'm going to kind of gravitate toward the over here in this one. I know the season series is kind of a under here, but this is an interconference series here. LALB's got a regulation draw. 9 Legacy likes cracking on the money line. And South Africa finally gets a wicket after 39 runs. And Greg has it 3-2 in favor of the Kraken. I'm going to take the over. Oh, swing and a miss. All right. Sharks and Canucks to wrap it up here in the NHL and wrap up the show. Thanks for joining me here on the Morning Steam. Man, can you believe it? We knocked this out in about 2 hours today with a great card here. And you got the Sharks on the road here, 26-21-3. Vancouver, what can you say? They're the worst. They're the worst, I think, in the league. They've lost 13 of their last 14, although they won just a couple days ago for that win. They actually got a win there, if you remember, over Washington 4-3. San Jose's been alternating wins and losses. This would be a loss if the pattern holds, but come on. Vancouver, not only have they lost 13 of 14, they've lost 10 of their last 11 at home. Although Vancouver has won 9 of the last 10 meetings against the Sharks and 16 of the last 19 overall. But that was the old Sharks, right? This is the new Sharks. Sharks have gone under in 5 straight and under in 4 of their last 5 on the road. 13 of the last 18 meetings between the two teams have gone over. So maybe if you're not putting too much into the Sharks still here, maybe on the road here, I'm gonna go with the Sharks, of course. I mean, come on, I can't not go with the Sharks, but I might be on that total as a premium here. Maybe the Sharks should be a premium the way they're going. But again, Vancouver, what can you say? This is a team that they do dominate. Maybe this will be the one. Maybe they can get another win here right now, but it's been hard, tough sledding for the Canucks for sure. Here we go with let's see here. Sharks money line for Robert. Jordy liking the over here in this one. All right. And I'll just take the Sharks, but I think I'll probably be on the over here when it's all said and done, and maybe as a premium too. So stand by. Vancouver is 16-8 to the over at home. This is only the third time the Sharks have been favored all year. That's really saying something if you think about it, right? I think that is Canucks money line there. Thank you to 9 Legacy. Greg says Sharks 4-3. But you think of the Sharks. They've actually won 26 games this year, right? This is only the third time they've been favored. You'd think that a team that wins a majority of their games would be favored of more than 3 times, but that's what you do when you take the Sharks, right? That's why if you've been betting the Sharks this season, you're up all those units this season. I mean, big time units here everywhere you look. Now they are favored in this. Like I said, they are favored here, but Sharks are nearly 16 units to the good here this season, the best in the league. Vancouver, meanwhile, is the worst in the league, right? They are down 15 1/3 units. Winnipeg's pretty bad too, but if you combine these two up, right, you got San Jose up almost 16 units, Vancouver down 15 1/3 units. You'd think this would be a lock with San Jose today at only $1.20, but oh well, the Canucks do own the series. Over for LALB. Well, that's going to do it here for the morning steam. I want to thank everybody for joining me here. There is a football game today. Like I said, got the East-West Shrine game here today with the West favored by 1.5. We did see some of the names there at the East-West Shrine game here and who will be some of the players to look at. I'll be watching Chris Johnson of San Diego State, the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year. He's likely to be a very, very high draft choice right now. Probably a first or probably a second round draft choice, I would think. Also, Florida defensive tackle Caleb Banks, as well, a top player, and offensively, Keelan Rutledge, the guard of Georgia Tech. You got Garrett Nussmeier leading the quarterbacks here from LSU. Look, I know some people think he might be, fifth or sixth round, but I think he'll go higher. I think he'll go in the third round. Speaking of fifth rounders, how about Shedeur Sanders? Look, he's the guy. Now, look, I know that in the Olympics, they're going to have flag football, right? Maybe Shedeur will be the quarterback for Team USA when it comes around. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Jordy says, come on, Ramon, no soccer? Well, let me at least touch on the games here. We got 2 games in Bundesliga today, Hoffenheim and Werder Bremen, and Leipzig taking on St. Pauli. But that's kind of really it for the major leagues. You got England League One action here, big card there tonight. A big card in England all around here today. So, and that should do it for the show. Thank you, everybody. That's it, Greg. No Phillip Rivers. He's removed his name from coaching, from the candidacy of Buffalo right now. It does feel like at this point, where Buffalo goes now, not sure. They interviewed Davis Webb there late Monday afternoon. Shieldhouse could come in as a passing game coordinator, but right now Buffalo, they're a little bit mixed on what they're going to do, it feels like right now. Chargers, of course, did finally finalize the deal with my man Mike McDaniel. I'm actually excited for that. And we'll see some of those other interviews here. Cleveland still trying to figure it out. The Raiders can't figure it out at all. They're a disaster here. Arizona, Weaver came in for a second interview. He could be the leading candidate. But Mike LaFleur also, now that the Rams are out, maybe Mike LaFleur goes in there and heads on in there, take over to get a look-see with the Rams. So Frank Wright could be in line for the Jets offensive coordinator job. Cliff Kingsbury interviewed for the OC job with the Titans, but so did Stenovich of Green Bay and Thad Lewis of Tampa Bay. So they're trying to figure that out. The Eagles trying to look for their OC right now. Matt Nagy, possibly. Frank Smith, formerly of Miami, possibly. Maybe Jared Johnson from Houston there, and the Ravens are still looking for their offensive coordinator as well. So there's some things that could still happen. Also, Indiana's Omari Cooper filed for the draft with he didn't have big numbers, but he had big expectations, I think, right? Well, he had big numbers, but not the total star of the team, but still, what do you have? 115 receptions, I think, over 2 seasons there. So, all right, everyone, let's do the drawing here right now and see what's going on. What's going to happen with Tomlin, right? Is he going to sit out a year? We'll do the drawing. Let's hear from Mikey. We'll do the drawing, get out of here. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here today.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Okay, let's do the drawing here right now and see who's going to win a month worth of my picks. hopefully get these working out here. Man, was having a good run in tennis and then can't pick a winner right now. All right, here we go. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Oh man, I don't want that LALB, but it's looking more and more like Kubiak could be the man for the Raiders. Here we go. Greg, Twisted, Chosen One, Robert, Jermaine, BJ, Andrew K, the winner's Public Enemy. Public Enemy. Hey, Public Enemy gets 1 month of plays. I'll add another month to Public Enemy's subscription unless Public Enemy's subscription ran out. Use the promo code WINNER to get 1 free month over there right now at winnable.com with my plays today. I hope I have a good day. Hopefully you guys have a good day, and hopefully everybody's all thawed out and ready to go. Once we get through the chill, right, it only happens once, right? Then we're going to have some good weather and get in. Like Sharpie came in here. It's baseball time already, kind of, huh? I know we've got the tournament coming up, and DeBonsa and the Cougars didn't get it done last night, but should be a great college basketball right now. I mean, college basketball does seem to be on fire a little bit with a lot of these good teams, doesn't it? So we'll have lots to talk about here for the next month for sure as we wind down January here right now. Wow. And then we've got the Super Bowl coming up. I don't know if there's been any real news out of the bowl just yet. Maybe we'll wait for the teams to get in there. Obviously, the props, with no injuries really to report from the teams, right? It feels like, all the props are kind of out. We used to have to wait until like Thursday of the first week to get the props, but most of the books right now have those props out there ready and available. So I don't know what other news really out of the Super Bowl yet. I just don't think we really had too much here coming out. So we'll have some more things here in the days to come. Can't wait for that. And I think that's going to do it. All right. Really appreciate everybody. Back tomorrow, more Morning Steam. Join Mikey Money today, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific with pre-gaming. Mikey gets you ready for the primetime action. And I also want to let you know that today here on the Sports Money Network at, I believe right now, tentatively scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, it's VB MMA Picks. And who are we going to have as our guest analyst? None other than Clint McLean. Be our guest today. So make sure you're coming into the show and check out the picks of Clint on VB MMA Picks today at 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific time. We'll preview the card here for UFC 325 from Sydney this Saturday with that main event, the featherweight championship rematch between Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. Remember, they were at the Noche UFC battle in San Antonio. Remember, in that Diego Lopez was anyway. He's had a fight since they last fought. Remember, Volkanovski beat Lopez by unanimous decision last April in Miami. Since then, Lopez went and beat Gene Silva at that Noche UFC event. We saw Silva the other night. Remember, he was winning that fight, it felt like, against Lopez before Lopez knocked him out in round 2 at that UFC Noche event in San Antonio. Lopez was a $2 dog in that one and earned the performance bonus, of course, with a big surprise. We also previewed lightweights, Fizayev and Mauricio Rufy, and we also looked at a middleweight bout between Malkoun and Therese Finney, the 3-time Contender Series winner. He had to win on the Contender Series 3 times, remember, before graduating and getting his first win. It was a split decision over Valentin, so it shows you it was kind of a borderline anyways, despite those 3 wins. But, well, VB MMA picks here today for sure, so make sure you are checking us out for that show. Thanks a lot, everybody. Where am I? There I am. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long. See you tomorrow.